Hello and welcome people to a special video that I said I was going to do years ago of the Eternal mode in Eternal Darkness. It is essentially just a little unlockable, uh, which comes with the level select mode in this game. Also, I'm joined by Neil,
Yay.
the person who actually introduced me to this game.
Because Lil 10-year-old me thought this game was spooky scary.
And then you took it from the rental place, never returned it, and in the end bought it with your sister.
Yep. Yep.
Did you actually complete it when you had it?
I played through it once. She 100%ed it. She did the whole thing.
Like all of the playthroughs.
Yeah, she got through all the playthroughs. You maggots.
Yeah. This cutscene may look a little bit weird. I figured that it's well, I've seen this issue before on the PS2, except it was only happening during the gameplay and almost never during the FMVs. GameCube has the exact opposite. It never has that issue during gameplay, but it almost always has that issue in the pre-rendered cinematics, which I always found pretty odd. I guess that was the easiest way of saving up on memory. Just
Or
cut
maybe on
the-
disk space.
Yeah, I mean on memory. Because as you see here, it doesn't have that weird filter on it anymore in the menus, and as you'll see in the gameplay, it also doesn't. I should mention, I'm playing this game with an application called Nintendon't, which is essentially a GameCube emulator for the Wii. You may be wondering, why the fuck do you need a GameCube emulator for the Wii? Well, it enables a whole bunch of interesting things. Like, for example, in games that don't support widescreen, you can force it, except it doesn't work almost all the times. And also, it lets you force 480p, which is pretty much a HD resolution of that time. Which is why this video looks as good as it does, and I also don't need to... I don't need to deinterlace it or anything. And here I was wondering... What the hell do they actually mean with widescreen 16:9 or widescreen standard? It's a really weird way to word this. But yeah, widescreen 16:9 is what the actual widescreen is. As you can see on the on Alex's skeleton over there. But yeah, what makes this 480p mode from Nintendo really nice is that it works better than the 480p mode from the American version of the game. I am, of course, playing the European version, because that's the one I have all of my save data on. What essentially happens in the American version is every time you die or finish a jump to the game section, the game resets the video mode from 480p to 480i, which is very annoying, especially when you're recording it. And here I was just checking if I had the right memory card inserted. And so this is the jump to the game mode. It allows you to replay any of the chapters.
Paul's getting a nice back rub there.
It lets you replay any of the chapters with any of the alignments, and it lets you enable the Eternal mode. The Eternal mode being essentially invincibility mode with unlimited ammo and no need to reload.
Does it make it so that you don't lose any health, or does it just make it so that you don't die?
It makes it so you don't lose any of the bars, which in return it actually makes this game a lot less interesting.
Yeah, because without the insanity, what
Without
is it?
the insanity, it's just not quite as fun. Also, because I have the 480p enabled, I was able to do 60 frames recording of this without much trouble. Which, yeah, this game just runs at 60 frames by default, which isn't too surprising with how powerful GameCube actually was, and with how this game is always tight, small, tight corridors, with not too many with not too much shit going on.
Yeah, there's not a lot on screen. There's especially not a lot of particle effects.
Yeah, not in terms of particle effects. It's only like really basic stuff with magic, and the fire is just some of the some of the ugliest you will find.
You know, if you took Resident Evil, well, not if you took the Resident Evil. Actually, no. I'm gonna take that back. This game just reminds me of Parasite Eve more than Resident Evil does, actually.
Kinda.
Not in terms of like story, like in terms of gameplay.
Yeah, the aiming system is a lot more similar because, well, you still have the camera perspective of an old horror game, but you have the aiming system, which in which you can specifically define the parts of the enemy that you want to hit. So yeah, I just picked Churga because, well, I played as Zalotov, and the monsters of Uliov aren't particularly damaging anyway. So if I'm getting the invincibility mode, I may as well show off how much effort it takes to take care of any of those monsters.
It does take a lot of shots.
Yeah, and I'm already using something that's more effective than what it would be normally, you know?
Because the pistol is not what you have normally to start here?
Well, I mean, normally you just wouldn't be wasting your pistol ammo.
Oh, yeah. You know, I actually like the plot to Eternal Darkness a lot.
Yeah, it's very, well, I mean, it's very well put together. Everything makes sense. It's just that...
everything makes sense, and it's like a neat series of ideas.
Yeah, and it's, for example, the fact that you don't play all of the chapters in chronological order, and they do point out how the story is affected by Alex's perspective in the order in which she reads them. Like, for example, how in the Hall of Eternal Darkness, at the different points in time, you will see different people, and sometimes people from the past will see people from the future already being there.
Yeah.
And some such. So here I was just... eventually I cut it out. I was messing around with the settings because I didn't like a certain effect that was going on, but it's just limited color space of this game.
Speaking of the Hall of Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, this is my favorite place. Yeah, the animation of all of those faces, it never gets old.
It's really good. Just that you should make an hour-long extension of that screaming noise.
I can't do that anymore.
I know.
But yeah, what's really interesting is even in the 480, like in the widescreen mode, all of the cutscenes have the exact same. All of the cutscenes have the exact same aspect ratio, just with pillar boxing put onto it, which is very smart. And here I show off that the Tome of the Eternal Darkness actually has different graphics depending on which screen mode you have, which is also incredibly nice.
I really like the Tome of Eternal Darkness. It's like, well, like the concept of what it should look like is well put together.
Mm-hmm.
How can I forget you, Grandpa? You've always meant the most to me. Ever since my parents died.
Yes. Ever since they were killed. You've been my little girl.
Creepy ghost, Pedo.
Sonic said. This is my
Sonic says
favorite
that's no
cutscene.
good.
This
You actually cast some magic.
Yeah. As you see, it doesn't even mention that I'm using magic with the bars. I can just spam it. Of course, unless you have shield on, the enemies will interrupt you. And also if there is any sort of effect going on, like for example the whatchamacallit, like whenever there is a poisonous gas, you will still be interrupted from casting a spell, like you won't be able to even start. And yeah, also they of course make sure that you don't sequence break by giving you spells that you're not supposed to have at the given point in the game. Well, you basically have you still get all of the same options of just creating your own spells, as in. Yeah, because like this spell, you can already make it at this point in the game, but they don't give it to you until like 3 chapters later, I want to say, which is ridiculous. And the attacking spell is wonderful, so just not fair. Just not fair.
These cruel, cruel game designers. What did you do to deserve this?
Yeah, and here I believe you're supposed to use a torch in order to light the way. I just prefer to put magic on my gun. Works the same way.
If your gun is shiny enough, then... Haha.
I love doing that. I mean, while the particle effects are really oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, yes, I did cut out a lot of things from this because, well, this level is very long. Well, like an hour long too. It takes an hour to beat it, and I didn't want to make this a 4-part thing since I'm only really showing off certain features. Yeah, zombies lingering on the ground. We're safe.
I also like the fact that they're like, finish him.
Mm-hmm.
They just
Which
use
also
that exact
doesn't.
word.
Yeah, it's really weird too because they do show up the freaking sanity meter whenever you do anything sanity related.
But they don't show off the health or magic ones.
Exactly. It's kind of odd. How they decided to do it. I really wish that the eternal mode, instead of being like all immunity, was just like you choose your immunities.
One type of you mean like 1 meter that won't go down, or do you mean like against one element?
1 meter that won't go down. That would have made it a lot more interesting, in my opinion. Because you would get to experience the insanity, but not die, or like experience, or like not die, but still like, rather no, experience insanity, but be able to say cast spells to no end.
Right, or experiencing insanity while not being able to die would be really interesting, because then you could go through like the entire series of all the things that can happen.
Exactly.
Because you'd just be constantly insane, you know?
Exactly. And that would make it more interesting. Or like, if they made Eternal mode, I wish they made something additional like that Darkness mode. I mean, they made just an idea for a thing, which would be to say merge 2 meters. So like make magic and sanity the same thing, for example.
Yeah. So like, if you use any magic, your sanity goes down.
Yeah, but like your magic, your sanity actually regenerates over time by walking in circles, as we shown off.
Oh, okay.
In the playthrough, you know.
Yep.
But still, it's. But I mean, they could make the modifiers for getting damaged different, so it's a little bit more challenging. You know, just a thought. It's something to make the game more challenging on the secondary playthroughs or whatnot.
This would be a cool game to see a sequel to.
Yeah, it's too bad nothing ever came out of that.
Maybe one day.
Maybe.
Some dedicated group of fans will make a fan sequel, and then the copyright holder will sue them.
Exactly. This is what's gonna happen. I just need to finish off the one that gives me summon rune and, well, now run all the way back. I'm doing this on purpose, not just to like 100% this level or whatnot or whatever. I'm doing this to show off a weird feature that the jump to the game mode has.